Okay, I'm just about ready to get started. So we're just gonna do a really short PSO session. I might not even go the full 2 hours, to be honest. Um, but I figured, while we're in the last week of the Christmas event, and even though it's weirdly the next year, and I don't want to make it confusing to say we won't be doing another Christmas event this year, because technically that'll be true. This will be the last one for 2021, even though it's 2022. So I'm just gonna warm up a little bit with a probably solo run of one of the iconic runs of the game. And then after that, I think we'll do the last major Christmas event run. Let's go ahead and jump into the game. Speaking of which, just realized the sound is probably low. 1 second, chat. Much better. I was gonna say, my personal settings are very different from the stream settings. Anyway, glad I remembered to do that just then. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't have too much to do in terms of introducing the game. I think we've seen it at this point. So 1 second, I think we're good to go. Yeah, I want to do something once we're done with the PSO run itself. Hey Chris, hope you're doing well. I'm just gonna do a solo Towards the Future real fast. That'll give you some time to set up for one last Christmas Fiasco, I think. Yeah, in unrelated news, I figured out why the alerts weren't working for me. We can just put that as stream jank. But I've learned. We'll talk about it at the end of the stream. There are some people I want to shout out properly now that it's working again. Yeah, never mind. I was thinking about seeing if certain people had TTF open, but nah, that's fine. We'll do solo. Fingers were all over the place with that typing. Off to a great start. So, what is the forecast from my knowledge? Not that I'll be switching characters. Oh, it's just humans? Okay. Convenient. So, let's see. We talked about Towards the Future a few times. We've even run it on stream a few times. It is kind of a iconic quest to level up starting characters before Episode 4 was really out. It gives access to all the bosses pretty easy, so boss rares, not a difficult thing to come across. And most importantly, it is really fast. So if we are looking to level, in terms of XP per second, this might be the highest quest. Also, I got kind of unlucky there. Speaking of unlucky, there we go. Yeah, TTF is really solid. It's one of those ones where if you get to a certain character level, you can just run it solo, and honestly, the items you could get from it are absolutely amazing. There are better quests to do if you potentially are being carried by somebody else, or if you're a force. If you're looking to level up a solo ranger, for example, which is how I started my PSO runs, this quest was really, really convenient. Certain characters are super good at killing bosses, others are not. McMagic asks, do you recommend playing alone? You have no friends. Well, that's an interesting question. I think for the most part, you can play this game solo. In fact, there's a lot of content that's single player only to enjoy. I certainly have a lot of fun with it. If you're starting off and your gear is not the best, it's definitely much easier in single player than to kind of join in kind of midway through other people's games. But I do recommend, you know, reaching out to the community. In particular, there's a Discord for the game where people are usually looking for groups. Or if you're looking to do certain trades to get some items. Definitely makes life a bit easier. Now, unfortunately, getting trolled a little bit here, but that's fine. We'll just show that we're a force and we can just melee, because that makes sense. There we go. We're nice and solid. But yeah, honestly, McMagic, I would say when I used to play this game like a lot, other than for like holiday events, I almost always did solo. I very rarely played with people. I'm gonna say Chris is one of the few people, or Antares Convoy in the chat, where I will actually team up with them. You know, we have fun. I definitely think it helps the experience a little bit. just realized I don't have a slicer or anything for this boss. That's a shame. In terms of picking up the game, I think the wiki that goes for the game for Ephinea, which is the server I'm playing on, I think covers a lot of the more complicated segments of the game, like properly raising a mag. And if you're curious what enemies were very common in certain quests, I think it's not a bad place to start. Honestly speaking, like, I had never played episode 4 prior to going on the Ephinea server. It's a little bit of the kind of experimenting to see what you find is fun. But there are a lot of forums and such you can kind of dive through if you're interested in that. But definitely, for sure, anytime I am streaming this game, if you ever wanted assistance to level a character, in particular, I think, I would say the best times to join most servers would be around the holidays. You can take advantage of the boosted XP and kind of get out of the slower early game, get into more of the proper end game much faster. I want to say they run the anniversary event in... This can help me correct myself. I want to say September. I think it's right before the Halloween event, I think, if I remember correctly. And that's where I actually made my first character, probably 3 years ago on the server. Taking advantage of that double XP, if you have any knowledge of the game whatsoever, it just speeds things up significantly. Like, no joke, it is a difference between spending, without any good items, let's say 35 to 40 hours to hit level 80 versus like 60, 80. And if you really don't know the quest at all, I mean, you could go like 100 hours and still not technically hit it. Hey Kirk, hope you're doing well. Yeah, I want to say it's like August, September. Playing a little distracted, but hey, I like to talk with the chat. I don't need to fight any of the people in here, if you're curious. My goal is to clean this up as much as possible. I could be slightly slow in this room, and it doesn't ultimately matter, because I'm waiting for a very specific spawn. So, for me, it doesn't matter if I take 20 seconds in that room or 35 seconds. As long as I don't take like 45, I guess I'm okay. Kirk's doing all right. Glad to hear that, Kirk. We're just warming up with a little bit of a solo run with a high-level character who does not care about anything at all. Unfortunately, I did not bring a Excalibur or a Slicer, which would have helped with this upcoming boss. I don't really need it for any other boss other than, I guess, the Mind boss I use this as well. Speaking of which, just on time. Well, I am really not that late, comparatively. So even though I had like a slow start getting into that room, I lost like a second. Doesn't matter. Anyway, chat, now we're gonna hopefully have faith. Chat can cross their fingers for me. I want mag invincibility. If we don't get mag invincibility, it's about to waste our time. Speaking of which, I need to make sure I'm buffed before this fight. Okay, chat, moment of truth. Aw, believed. Yeah, there we go. Believe in the 50-50 chat. Listen, if I don't have the mag invincibility here, I could skip a phase, potentially. Okay, so I gotta wait for him to come down. Ooh, my shots were a little off. He might not die on this. I lied, never mind. He still got one cycled. Never mind. Chris is like, can you call it 50-50 anymore? Honestly, I really wonder what my worm invincibility ratio is. It must be something out of this world. I was playing this game with Chris, not today or even this week, but last week, and I swear, we did like 15 of these runs, and I think only one, literally one, I did not get the invincibility. And every time I get the invincibility, I'm like, oh, it's a free cycle. So yeah, these robots will try their best to hit me. I'm basically immune to them as long as I have debanned. I'm playing pretty much top of the line. There's only 1 or 2 items I could theoretically equip to do better. One of which would be probably a V801 to speed up my casting. The other being maybe a red barrier. I really wanted to swap out to do more fire damage. Or maybe even Psycho Wand. I guess there's like 3 or 4 literally those are the only items I can think of. the game that would speed this up even slightly, but I really don't need it, to be honest with you. Just to show how dumb this is in single player, Chris, this is for you. Let's watch him hit me. He's not capable of damaging me. I just wanted you to witness that, Chris. So anyway, there is no way I will lose except to the brands here. Brands is real. I have to respect the brands. So yeah, we're playing with Red Ring, which is the best shield in the game, and it makes you so tanky as a force. I actually almost has as much defense as I do mental power, which is really, really, really silly. I don't even know what to say to that, really. This character doesn't even have like a low mind score, surprisingly. And the reason why I want to throw out some fireballs there is that it is technically the Christmas event still, so I could end up with presents. I think I'll play it safe here. I'll take the slower route. Now, Green ID, which is the one I'm playing on the Ephinea server, can get something called the B101, which I'm not using on this character. Okay, that could actually be an upgrade for me then. And it is basically something that adds to every stat and counts as the highest attack boost in the game. Yeah, I'll take damage if I don't debuff their attack, which is a bit unfortunate. Now that I debuff their attack, it's over. So I could just look at chat. I literally don't even have to pay attention to myself. I'll be fine. So, yeah, ideally I'll get a really good endgame rare while I'm streaming, but it's really unlikely. We're talking like the odds, if I were to put them in percentages rather than ratios, like 0.1%. So very, very low odds. I mean, granted, I might kill like 12 to 15 things towards that particular kill total, but not good odds. So every time we kill, for example, those blue Sinnohs, that one's currently invincible and fighting me. Potentially it could drop an endgame item for me, randomly. So not only is this a great way to level, but if you just look ahead slightly on section ID charts, which are freely provided on the Ephinea's website, you can just figure out what IDs are the best for doing this run. So you'll end up fighting a lot of Sinnoh Blues, so they're pretty good for those rares. It's very quick reset for... I was gonna call them the Gigaboomas, and that's not correct. The Hildators and the Hildabears. Or, no, just Hildators, excuse me. Oh, what am I doing? Actually, you know what? I'm curious about something. Is it faster for me to just go for this one? Curiosity, chat. We're doing the Madman strat. I'm just gonna let the brands live. Look at that, chat. Oh, look at that madness. Just face tank it, chat. It's fine. Didn't even bother letting the rest of the wave show up. Oh, Mag Invincibility again? You spoiled me, game. Okay, so attack and defense don't really matter at the moment. I could rebuff at the end of this particular phase. Nothing the boss does in this particular phase will do physical damage to me, and I don't actually want to do physical damage either. Hopefully I'll get the perfect stun lock with unarmed casting. I get slightly faster cast, which causes the boss to potentially get stun locked like this, and this results in a lot of damage. In fact, I already beat phase 1. Absolutely dumb. Love it. So there's kind of a damage bug with Gazand. I don't know how to explain it properly. Mechanics guides could probably go into more detail. But essentially, every time I hit a monitor, normally it applies some damage. Oh, this is bad, actually. It's actually the worst attack I could have started with. Oh, annoying. Hold on, chat. Play Ring Around the Rosie did not get hit by that. So anyway, what I was saying, chat, is that it's supposed to only really damage the monitor a little bit, and it's supposed to be the big monitor that takes damage, right, and generally speaking. So if you have like a shotgun, you do a little bit of damage every time you shoot it. Oh my gosh, I'm actually double hitting with Partisan? Huh. Alright, well that was also really fast. So anyway, what I was saying is that for some reason Chain Lightning will apply its damage more or less on every screen directly to the boss's health. So even though I didn't even destroy any of the screens, the boss is actually taking like 4 to 5 times damage and it just dies. Like so fast. And the fact that I was able to get close enough to get the double hit with the Partisan is also really stupid, as that literally halved how long that would normally take. So we're at 12 minutes in and I'm almost at the final boss. That's fine. Damage on monitors is based on ETP, even if it's a technique. Interesting. Also, getting trolled there a little bit. I hate the balls there. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't fully understand it. It's one of those things I should probably look into. Okay, we'll take that, though. Because on level 28, I'll hold that for somebody else. I don't need it at this point. Oh, you mean himself. Oh, my bad. Let's just go through there. Yeah, that is kind of strange. I agree. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Normally I have Chris in the chat help me with this, so I am actually really not used to doing the sorcerer legit. Alright, I actually have to back up. I missed the kill shot. That sucks. So it says that I have a 145% chance of it working, but unfortunately Devil has a 25% innate chance of losing. Not much I can really do about that if it doesn't want to cooperate. Speaking of doesn't want to cooperate, I'd like you to go away. You are not supposed to chase me this far. Please go away. Both of you are interrupting my kill time. I don't appreciate this. Go away. I can't believe it. Oh, I'm actually dead here. That's unfortunate. That's fine. We escaped all. Doesn't matter. But yeah, really unfortunate. I missed both of the 75% chances. Also, my Bringer's Rifle does not want to target properly. I don't know what to tell you, chat. It happens sometimes. This is what happens when you don't fight Sorcerer in a while. Anyway, we'll just pretend that didn't happen and move on. Speaking of which, since I'm here, I might as well switch mag synchro. Yeah, it happens. I mean, it's just one of those weird things. Like, sometimes the game cooperates and it stays centered, but if you're off even just a little bit, it'll target the crystals, which is not what I wanted to do. So partially my fault, and then also I was really surprised the other enemies chased me down, which is unfortunate. But speaking of fortunate, well, I just get a free auto win through this phase, which could be very annoying. Love this. I mean, I'll take hard. I mean, that sorcerer is going to kill me more than the boss probably will. And truly, Chaos Sorcerer is the final boss. It is a monolith. You buffered Rabarda just for the early kill. Nice and easy. Fortunately, none of the other ones really spawn near me. A bit unfortunate. Now, I like to use unarmed Rabarda here, because I'm more likely to get the AoE double hits. And if I'm walking away, it's not bad. If I'm unarmed, I can usually quickly heal myself in case I do get clipped. It is possible to not get hit by these, but, you know, it kind of happens. Hopefully you're doing well, Scotty. Welcome to Just Messing Around on TTF. Actually, speaking of which, I haven't done it in single player in so long. How is my lightning damage comparatively? Kind of lackluster. So here's where I could tell the difference between like the Bo Newman and the Bo Mar. The Bo Newman would be able to one-shot the spinners by himself. So I could see like little advantages and disadvantages towards this. I'm just gonna close it out with Kazan, honestly. I don't really care at this point. This is just meant to warm up after all. I don't have to be super optimal. I'm not sure why Grants came out there, but that's okay. Fine. Alright, here's the troll phase. This could waste anywhere between 1 and 5 minutes. Let's see what the boss is feeling like today. You gonna let me approach? Nope. Oh, you're giving me the good pattern. Okay. I want to see that more often. Okay, boss decided no. What I'd like to do is if you buffer an ante, you can actually just immediately cast it and cure yourself rather than wait, which is useful if you're not near it anyway. We're just gonna dodge all the spinners. Get a couple pot shots here. That should be fine. My aiming is not fine, but everything else is fine. We'll just take some pot shots with Bringer's Rifle. Fighting the final boss is a warm-up? Of course it is. We'll just take some easy shots. Fine. So, unfortunately, I don't really... Wow, it is actually being really nice to me. Well, I might as well finish it then. Got it. So surprisingly, this boss is actually damageable with spells, unlike in multiplayer. It's such a weird feeling. Going back to single player where your spells actually do things. Yeah, we're still gonna do the multiplayer strat of debuff first. We'll take that damage. Light resistance is okay. And again, we abuse the fact that Grants makes us target automatically, so we get kind of the lazy sniping, as I like to call it. If I time it so when the boss moves, I'm still facing the boss. Shooting is much faster than Grants, but Grants will just kind of follow up, do free damage. Speaking of free damage. So I didn't quite put the boss at half health, which is good. I actually don't want to do that. Take the damage there. If I really want to, I can iframe with the mag blast, but no, we'll just take it. So here's where it's really good for us. So now the boss potentially might not even get its next phase, because I'm getting a lot of cheap damage on it. We're gonna go for the phase skip. We'll see if it works. I think we're actually gonna get it at this rate. Oh, so close. We were off by 1 power attack, I think. It's fine though. We still might skip it altogether. It really depends on what the boss does when it lands. Actually, it's dead no matter what. Goodbye. Easy second phase at least. So just nice and quick, chat. Nice and easy. So this character is probably not my favorite character to do this boss. To be honest with you, I actually think it's faster for me to play, definitely the Fomarl. Fomarl is definitely faster than him. Bo Newman is weirdly faster. Not because he has, MST necessarily that makes a huge difference, but as I mentioned earlier, he can one-shot the spinners, and that ends up saving a lot of time. He also has my Excalibur, which unfortunately this character doesn't have. That also would speed things up significantly. So to no one's surprise, Dark Falls gives me nothing. Works out a lot better without me and my stupid gun. Aw. Well, I mean, in multiplayer, you most likely delete yourself, so it's fine. Yeah, this boss is kind of free in single player. Once you have just, like, enough power, like, you don't need to be 184 to solo this boss. Honestly, you can solo it, like... Oh, if you have decent materials, like level 100, you mostly just need enough health to not get one shot. I think that's just mostly the drawback. Also, it seems I can't hold any more items. I have way too many junk materials. I have way too many things. I was gonna say, chat needs to help me and just take some of these techniques from me, in all honesty. Too many. Yeah, so what I was alluding to with the Phase 2 of Dark Falls, it will link up with your character. Your character appears as a small avatar at the base of Dark Falls, and anytime you deal damage to the boss, it hurts the person that's souling. So Chris in the chat likes to play a raw cast whose machine gun will just absolutely kill you almost instantly, because they do a lot of damage. But because forces don't have like a ton of damage by default, it's kind of hard to die to Dark Falls. Honestly, kind of a free boss. Like, my damage is low enough that it doesn't matter. But yeah, I would say if I had brought the Fomarl, I probably could have shaved like 3 minutes off. Her sniper double hitting is literally twice as good as what I use on the boss currently. So it's just literally better in every single regard. Yeah, we took Cure Freeze for multiplayer purposes. In single player, honestly, I could have made that a heavenly power if I really wanted to. I'm already capped. See, would the game give me a pity S rank? I really doubt it. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. So anyway, Chris, I open to you. If you would like to join in, I think we'll do one Christmas Fiasco on Ephinea server. I'll I'll probably host game. We'll try one last attempt at, let's see, Dorfana Claire with Cannon Rouge, with V101 from Zeus, with Heaven Striker from Pyrogoron, I think, offhand. So, typical password. Oh yeah, episode 4 for sure. You died once while defeating the ultimate evil, we expect better of you. I mean, I'm 184, there's not really an excuse. Oh, hey, look, somebody names games like I do when I play off stream. I love rolling my hand across the keyboard, making game names. If you play on Ephinea and you just see absolute nonsense, probably me. But when I'm in multiplayer with a friend, I normally just name it after the friend. Let's see, I guess we'll just do One Christmas Fiasco. I think I'm good. I mean, I restocked everything. Still have 3 Scape dolls. I feel a little warmed up. Rule number 1 when playing as a male force: remove your weapons. Sadly, it's more effective most of the time. Just how they're built. Oh, you brought Murder Mech here. Interesting. Oh, I forgot. Was your character a green ID? I really need to remember your section IDs. You are. Dang. Oh well. I've committed. I have to remember that for the next time, because there's different forces I'd rather use for episode 4. One day I'll remember your ones. Murder Mech's fine, for sure. So my goal here is mostly just to delay the enemy and, like, Chris/Murder Mech. Kind of deal with them. If I kill the zoo while it's in the wall, I unfortunately won't get a V101. Goodbye, V101. Now, ideally, before we end the PSO segment of today's stream, one of those Dwarfons, aka the thing that's about to charge into me and do about 720 damage, is going to be a Dwarfana Claire. I really doubt it'll happen, though. I think the odds are like 1 in 512, I think. And then from there, it has a 50-50 drop chance. So, not great odds of getting what I want from it. So, I've learned to just not care. Just enjoy the run for what it is. I feel like if people are going in chasing rares, I mean, I hope they're willing to dedicate a lot of hours. That's all I'll say to them. This game can be rather frugal when it comes to items. Now, unfortunately, unlike when you play single player, I do unfortunately at some point have to use debuffs. Where I feel like forces in single player are some of the most broken characters, outside of maybe a Rock Pass once they've gotten all their guns. I'm actually going to be very careful with how I use spells here. I'm going to keep the Rappies chasing me, because they could drop something I'm interested in. Now, if they do run away, it's not the end of the world. I just don't get a chance at a present. They'll still drop, I think, guaranteed items, so usually that ends up being a lot of materials and a lot of techniques. I think this is why this is one of the best areas for forces. Not only can you just clear so easy with the force in single player, but just the fact that there's so many Rappies that end up giving you so many materials that if you wait for like a holiday event, for example, you'll just end up bloated with materials. I think last time we streamed this, I showed chat, I capped out on power material. I think I got 45 or 50 on stream. And honestly, I wasn't even like hardcore playing at the time. Kind of like 2 hours a day at most. And even then, not every day. So it could get out of control, for sure. I see that Zoo is having fun over there. I'm just gonna grant him. So my only goal really is to let Chris do most of the DPS. I'll help him every now and then with some Fireball crowd control. Like, if I'm aware of what wave is coming next, for example, like if I know a Satellite Lizard wave is coming, I can prep Gaphoe and immediately do some damage to them, and that saves a lot of time. Technically, I could whip out the Astron belt that I was using on the boss earlier, and in some situations it is useful. It's not bad. Perks like so many effects. There are so many Gaphoes, aka the Fireball. Speaking of which, I need to use more Fireball. Yeah, see this upcoming wave with the Yowies, aka a variant of the Satellite Lizards. They're weak to fire. And for some reason, they don't have any iframes on spawn. So they'll just kind of walk into things as soon as they're able to act and take damage. Whereas other monsters can potentially block it and take 0 damage when they spawn. They have a little bit of iframe. For example, the Buddhas are like that. Also, that one lone Rappy actually trolling. But yeah, the fact that I am just spamming the spell over and over again means I just half health all the enemies. So if you are curious, if you do team up with 2 forces and you play with, particularly the Poe Newman, who is a greater bonus in terms of MST for Gaphoe, you could just basically instant kill waves as soon as they spawn. So when it comes to leveling a force, they are brain dead easy. And if you don't believe me, we have a video on the YouTube channel VOD where I think we took a character from level 0 to level 80 with, I think the only caveat being is we had a fully raised mag and we fully capped materials on stream. What was that, 2 hours to hit level 80? It really takes no time at all for forces. Yeah, we'll play Dumpling a bit more in the future. We're saving her up for later. She'll probably show up again for Easter. And who knows, chat, maybe every time we get to a new anniversary of the server, we make a new character. I mean, I'm never opposed to having more section ID coverage. I see Chris has activated his Mag Blast. That Chris. He's like, I don't want to do 41 ship to D-band. I got to give these enemies a chance. I'm like, you're right, Chris. It's too easy. So here, in theory, because I'm getting hit a lot, it might make more sense to equip Magical Piece, which empowers our Gaphoe. But at the same time, it doesn't matter that much. I might be losing, like, I don't know, at most 10 seconds on the wave. Your defense, you're still waking up. It's okay, Chris. Fine. I Mag Blast for you whenever you're ready. Level 15 Foe, interesting. I feel like people would want that. So I might have mentioned on a couple different streams, but different characters have different spell caps. So for example, the male hunter spell cap is level 15. Oh yeah, you're gonna gain it really quick from getting hit by Dorfon. Don't worry about that. They'll make sure of that. So I'll probably collect this for people that are looking to make a new hunter. No, I don't want Foe 17, even though that's technically better. There we go. Found it in the sea of items. Yeah, for sure. I definitely feel... Ooh, what is the best starting character? I have to think about this. I'm leaning Ramar, but I feel like if you're gonna stick one all the way through with no items, Ramarl I think is better. Horses are really rough to do without items, unless you're really dedicated to leveling the Mind Mag as you go along. And by as you go along, I mean sitting there for like 2 hours, trying to fix that initially, and then playing. I feel like characters like the Ramar and the Ramarl, just... Yeah, they need almost nothing to get started. I don't really need like a super gun. One of their best guns, the Frozen Shooter, you could get almost immediately as soon as you enter Episode 1 in Ultimate. Depending on the ID, you even have really easy access to Heavenly Battle in Episode 1 as well. So don't feel afraid to switch section IDs in order to make life a bit easier. And honestly, even like their best gun, I would say, in terms of what you would probably use the most would be the Spread Needle, is really good. The backup for that would probably be the Baran's Launcher, which shoots slower, but does more damage and has a charge effect. Personal preference is I like Spread Needle, just because that's able to stun lock, and I find that a little more useful. But generally speaking, the Ramarl will be able to go to much harder areas much faster than the Ramar. The big issue with the Ramar is the Ramar cannot debuff enemies, whereas the Ramarl can. So you can get away with not having pretty much any good endgame gear compared to the Ramar. The difference being that in order to get to ultimate, the Ramar gets there so much faster because it just has better ATP. This is no contest, better accuracy and better ATP. So you could get away with like literally not leveling the mag unless you play. Like every mission you just give it a few feeds and it's probably fine. For Ramarl, always going to be a little tricky. Usually have to spend a little more time buffing and debuffing early on. Well, maybe not debuffing, but definitely always buffing. Anyway, I do have Mag Blast, but I'm going to wait for when it's not North on Central. And I'll probably team up with Chris. So the only thing you're missing out on if you play, I would say single player versus multiplayer, is that the Mag Blasts are kind of situational if you're playing single player. I like it if you have like Dolphin or Angel, if you're playing a character that can self-buff. However, if you're playing a raw cast, it's 100% mandatory you play Myleula, or you will just struggle. You're going to make the game so much harder on yourself than it should be. That's also kind of the downside. You kind of have to know those things coming into the game. Not very forgiving. You mess up a mag, you have to start over from scratch. There's no undoing the levels. Now you have Mag Blast. I think after this, once this Dwarfon dies, I'm going to use it. That should be all the warning Chris really needs. Yeah, this will be fine. Okay, I'm going to use... There we go. So, when you play it in multiplayer, this becomes one of the best Mag Blasts in the game. It will give 21 plus 20 per joined character, I believe. So because there's 2 players doing it, it's a level 41 shifted D-band. That's much higher than the normal cap of shifted D-band. And that causes the game to get kind of wonky. If you play with 4 players, the game is kind of free. As long as you just take a lot of set damage or do things that regen it, very easy time. Actually, I should be Kapoing here. Slight error, but I don't... Oh, no, I did get punished. Dang. So if I had Gafoes out, it would have stopped the zoo from lasering me right away. Unfortunate. Player error. I forgot what wave was after the current one. Okay, I'm gonna time the... Not time the Rabarda, apparently. Try that again. There we go. I'm gonna use Rabarda to lock them in place so Chris can take his time and kind of gun them down. As I said before, he's going to be all the DPS. I'm mostly just crowd control and debuffs. Ooh, I don't like how far apart they spawn. Kind of unfortunate. So yeah. What I could do to potentially speed it up if I'm not being lasered constantly is that I do have Bringer's Rifle, and as I mentioned earlier, that has a 75% chance of reducing their health. And given that they have 9k, that is actually a big time save, if I can get it to come out. But since they're kind of out of sync, like now, I don't think it's worth attempting. I'm just gonna go for the safer Kapoe. That way, even if they charge out of range, it doesn't matter. Like, Kira might be worth technically using it. I see Chris is using an item that he acquired between streams. The name of that weapon I can never pronounce, but it's VJAYA. If he's willing to blow, I think 10k a swing, regardless if it hits or misses, he gets 5 times attack power. So congratulations, Chris. Pretty good. Yeah, we were doing runs for that. Yep, thank you for spelling it. It's really, really good. The damage it deals to bosses is absolutely unreal. The downside is it costs a lot of money. So it's something that if you're a starting player, it won't be as effective. But if you're playing as a ridiculously overpowered Q-cast who has the highest ATP in the game, then you get to laugh as you 3-shot everything. Just doesn't make any sense. It's like Dwarfon in multiplayer has 9k, oh well, still does 2k swing. Yeah, you literally pay to win, it's true. I don't know why I picked up the Protect Ring. I'm gonna drop that. I'm gonna wait for Chris, and then I'm going to very briefly immediately get hit by Dorfon. That way Chris could kind of come in and then do whatever he wants. You can see he's just kind of decimating the Zabuda. I can't really output anywhere near that much damage. Again, my goal is mostly just to aid Chris, heal him on occasion. Technically, I could switch over to something that has increased healing range, but it's not strictly necessary. I'm close enough to Chris most of the time. I don't really take any benefit from it. It's better for me just to have red ring so I don't get deleted. Maybe switch to 3 seals if I'm fighting Gertabulu. Yeah, as long as I make Chris's life easier, that's all that really matters. Again, I'm hoping to get a freeze here. Use a confuse trap on the enemy, which does conflict with freeze, but it's not a big deal. As long as they're locked down, it really doesn't matter how. Okay, let's go ahead and get Bowie to stop the Dwarfon from hitting me. Oh, you don't have to apologize, Chris. You can use whatever trap you want. It does not matter. The only time where that might be an issue is probably when we go underground, but surface doesn't matter. As long as they're not attacking us, it's fine. Yeah, excellent, excellent, excellent. Put another Gaboe or two out here. He's using CF1, which is Christmas Fiasco 1. They found the Book of Hitagawa. Huh. I don't even know what ID that is on Ephinea. I don't think I've ever tried that before. I'm assuming it's something really garish, like Pink ID Ruins. It's not an ID you'd normally ever want to do. Now here, arguably, I think I will switch to Asteron Belt. They have too much mixed damage types, so I might as well take some advantage of the shifted D-band that we have. As you can see, I do okay damage. Put out a good Bowie to stop them from doing that much. Now, unfortunately, the downside of wielding a Partisan is that if you try to cast spells with it, it is really horrendously slow. So more often than not, you'll see me not equip it. Just because I do want that cast speed. So say goodbye to all the Satellite Lizard equivalents. Goodbye. I'm burning through fluids rather quickly. So I might have to kill myself in order to go back to the shop. Unfortunately, Christmas Fiasco doesn't just let you telepipe back. You are forced to die. There are some strategic parts of the mission I will die if I want fluids. Because sadly, I'm actually pretty much out. So I have enough to clear part of the second level, but nowhere near enough to clear the final part without going back. So I will also make sure to drop all my escape dolls and unequip my mag. That way I don't lose mag synchro and I don't waste escape dolls. Escape doll technically can be used as a dry fluid since it full heals me and also recovers TP. For cast, it can also be used as a way to reset traps, which is just something you do when you no longer care about, you know, death count and things like that. Like, you're all set for it. But I probably won't use it for its intended purpose, which is dying from a mistake. I really doubt that'll happen in this mission. That's reserved for things that have me good, and I mess up. Yeah, so I think with Red Ring, my Dark Resistance with Adept, I think is only 14, if I remember correctly, which is really bad for something that has a 100 EDK to resist. So, pretty much always gonna die. You know, always gonna die. I shouldn't debuff. There we go. Yeah, thanks to Red Ring and the very powerful Shifty D-Bam, which is about to wear out. Most of these enemies cannot deal damage to me, normal physical strikes. So we're kind of in easy mode at the moment. You know what, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I put enough hours into the game that... Why struggle at this point? This was our last attempt for Dwarfon to clear. So if I was explicitly looking to get the Cannon Rouge, I would reset here. But anyway, chat, enjoy the ridiculous blob. I guess that's the right word. Blob of Dwarfon. It is just like 6 heads. Well, now only 4 heads. absolutely ridiculous. Now here's an example where I'm getting attacked so often that Fast Cast is better than Magical Piece. And I think we're home free. There we go. It's okay, the enemy only takes up the whole screen. Looking to see where the fluids drop that are here. Spoilers, there really not many. I think I missed a dye fluid. Not sure what that is in here. Oh, never mind, I found it. I don't think I missed any other fluids. I'm pretty sure that's it. So I'm just down to 2 dye, 4 mono, and 5 pride fluid, which is pretty sad. That is the downside of casting with your fist. While it is efficient in terms of damage per second, for the most part, especially if you're looking to stun lock, unfortunately, it does burn through your TP very quickly. But technically, to conserve TP, I should probably just hold on to this for the next room. So I'm actually at max mag blast. If Chris really wants to, he can just walk up and delete the Marissa. Oh, thank you, Chris, for the dye fluid and the tri fluid. And 5 mana fluids, thank you, Chris. But if you want to equip Excalibur, by all means, we'll just walk in and delete. Okay. There we go. So we only had a brief downtime between the super buffs. And because he chose Dolphin, it's fairly likely to kill these instantly. These enemies can be very annoying if you don't have Cure Freeze, as they do set damage or jab lock you. That didn't actually kill them. Okay. Well, why we have AoE fire damage. Yeah, it happens. Could be mag synchro issue. And yeah, you're a character with Excalibur. I feel like that should have killed. So for those not aware, Excalibur, I believe, is the highest ATP you could get on a saber type weapon. Your synchro's max? Oh, that is weird. Huh. Wonder why that happened then. I was gonna say, my synchro is also pretty high, so it can't be me. Even if calculations are messed up in this game. Well, that's unfortunate. I immediately got paralyzed. So ideally what I want to do here is I want to be able to Bringer's Rifle them. You got your Slicer Fanatic, and that is definitely a shame. I don't think they're going to let me spellcast, so I'm kind of dependent on you to hit them. I'm gonna get a little closer. Oh, just died. Let's revive him. Goodbye, super buffs. Yeah, these things are just being really brutal. I don't mind if they use fire and ice, but when they alternate lightning on me, I really don't appreciate that. There we go. So Bringer's Rifle does 3/4 of the enemy's current health. So instead of glancing in multiplayer, I think 25 or 28 times, I could just shoot him 3 times. As you imagine, that's much faster. Considering Grants is a really slow spell, too. Anyway, let's rebuff Chris to make his life a little easier. That way he doesn't instantly explode. Unfortunately, Magical Piece does nothing to boost Robarda, so I'm gonna unequip it so I can 360 Ice. But yes, Kurt, the solution is always more fire. You're right. Okay, I'm gonna back up slightly into a debuff. This should kill quite a few of them. If they do leave me alone and target Chris, it just makes my life easier. Then I don't have to take the body slam of set damage. And my fireball does chip him out, so Chris could literally do nothing and they'll just die automatically eventually. Oh, was that a tri-fluid? Nice. That's good luck. Here's an example where having the Magical Piece is a detriment. I want the fast cast of the 360 Ice to more consistently lock down the enemy. And that actually let me heal there and hit them with Ice. Had I not done that, I'm pretty sure I would have been hit. As it does cut the casting time by, like, I want to say, well, I guess it depends on the spell, but like roughly 20% of the casting time. It is much faster. It's kind of weird in the way in which it speeds it up. It's very spell specific. And it's only certain parts of the animation of cast that it impacts. But hey, as long as it's faster, right, chat? So nice and easy clears. Let's see if this particular Gerdabu cooperates with me this time. Oh, aiming. That's my bad. There we go. Look at that. Look at that damage. Now, if I just debuff its defense, Chris will do pretty much full damage with the Slicer. So he'll do 257-ish, potentially ×2 or ×3, depending on how it hits the enemy. And that will help deal the remaining 3,000 health it tends to have. So anyway, much faster than using grants. 100% worth bringing a Bringer's Rifle here every time, multiplayer. It's pretty much the go-to item for forces. There's really no reason not to wield it. There's always a scenario in which you could probably use it. Unless you're doing, like, really, really basic stuff. Like, I don't know, Forest. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I'd just like to point out that I think we did this quest earlier as the Faux Numeral, by earlier in the previous stream. And man, I really wish she had the defense that this character had. I would love to only take like 10 damage in multiplayer versus Goron Detonator. It made life so easy. She normally takes like 210 a hit, and she's got less health than the Fomar does. Both of their health totals are pretty bad, to be fair. But her defense is absolutely booty. So anyway, Red Ring carrying me yet again. Thank you, Red Ring. Very slowly building up Mag Blast. The downside to playing a Force, I would say, compared to some of the other characters, is if you use spells like I'm doing here, I don't actually build any Mag Blast gauge for using spells, which is kind of unfortunate that that's how the game works. So the only way I can fill it up in order to assist for the multiplayer Mag Blast is I have to get hit. On the plus side, I don't have a lot of health, so normally getting hit by anything does result in quite a lot of Mag Blast gauge. But that's the only way I can fill it, is just taking it to the face repeatedly. Unless I switch to gun like this. Oh, this is really unfortunate. I'm still in his slappy range. Okay, I really dislike it when they do that. When they alternate the lightning like that, that is the worst. I don't care about any of their other ones, just not the lightning. Gun miss. Missed again. Really? Wow, that's pretty bad luck. How have I not gotten it yet? Come on, there we go. And now I'm just gonna grants it to finish. Which you can stun lock with grants. I actually do like holding a gun for it, since it times the grants pretty well. I know, Kirk, you never want to be in slapping range, exactly. It's bad. Don't get slapped. Especially if you don't get knocked down, then you die really quickly. Barda level 29, what an interesting spell. I'll pick that up. That'll be for anybody that's interested. As I said before, like, people could just message me on the stream. If they really just want items, I am all for helping new players. Or even players that have played the game before, honestly. I don't really care. Huh, I don't know where that Barda 29 dropped. Unless it's over here. It is, okay. This might be a room that I go back on. It really depends. If Chris doesn't have any more tri-fluids, I might do it. Shift to level 30. Why, thank you. Just casually picking up the best buff in the game, you know. Just happened to drop it. I guess I'll keep going. No fluids left. Oh, we're not at the right room anyway. I need to go one room further. Let's see what happens. Now, what I don't like about this room is that for some reason, in this quest, the zoos are triggered early, so there's no consistent way to get them to dive bomb you, which is a shame because there's only a couple parts in this quest where if they had tweaked it, I would think it would be the perfect quest, honestly, for me. This is one of those rooms that I find very annoying when I'm playing solo. if you play any of the other episode 4 quests, the zoos will not activate until you enter the room. So they'll just be hovering in one position. And if you practice a mission enough times, you realize that there's a very specific way you can enter the room, and it'll force all 3 to dive bomb you. It's not RNG. It's literally all position-based. So once you figure out that positioning, just by playing it over and over and over again, they are very consistent and very easy rooms. And the downside is if you're playing solo and you get to this room, it's completely RNG, because they move way earlier than you're normally able to enter the room. Meaning that they could be doing either circles, or they could be holding still, or they could be looking for you. And that RNG is enough to mess up any kind of consistency, which sucks. Oh, I am almost at Mag Blast, which is nice. There we go. Now, if you time your shots really slow, like not as fast as you could press with normal attack, you can also stun lock with sniper rifle there. Hey, try. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. We're just having one last Christmas fiasco, and I think we'll try on another game. But this is kind of a celebration of 2021's Christmas event. Not the year itself, but just the Christmas event. Nice. They gave me a mag blast. Still not a lot of fluid drop, though. Unlucky. I see one tri-fluid. Maybe we'll call it the tri-hecaton fluid. We need more tri. Oh, I'm getting bodied. Well, thankfully my defense is high. I think that would have killed me if I was playing the other force. I took 400 damage, and given that I take 5 times more damage as the other force, pretty sure that would have been 2k. That would have killed me. But hey, we're playing a really tanky character. That's all that matters. We need more tri. It's like constructing additional pylons. It's one of those things. Oh no. Ooh, unfortunate. That's not the debuff button I was looking for. Oh, okay. Ooh. Very risky. So one thing I didn't really talk about, and what makes the Marissas, aka the weird pink jumpy things that stab at you and freeze you, extremely awful, is if they're ever paired up with something that does either elemental damage or set damage, elemental being the Girder Bulu mostly, and set damage being zoo dive bombs or even the tackles from the Marissas, they just kill you kind of instantly because you have no iframes. Your defense is irrelevant. Well, you get to see why I cast Unarmed there. I had the Goron Detonators dancing with me for a little bit. And if I time it correctly, the Girder Bulu also doesn't get to cast the spell. But if I do it wrong, he gets to attack. Oh well. It's close. Almost had them in the perma lock. That's Grants to kill that one. But this is an opportunity where I could decide to go back or not. Thinking about it. 4 die fluid. Might try. We'll see. I mean, I am gonna pick what other Trimate at some point. I can always give more healing items to Chris. That's easy enough. That is the benefit of playing multiplayer. The two of you can just give each other whatever you don't want. So, like, I don't really need Trimates, but Chris will. That's his best healing item. And only real means of healing, honestly. Yeah, just nice and steady shots. Nice and... Okay, I'm just gonna immediately unequip. There we go. Nice and simple. Love the absolute chaos on screen. Oh my gosh, I'm actually parrying their jabs? How rare. They have decent accuracy. It's not something you see that often unless you hit endgame, to be honest. Especially not as a male character. Pretty rare. The fact that I got like 5 jab blocks in a row kind of stunned me. Because they can do damage to me still. I think they do like literally 10. Which is not a lot, but it's enough that... Oh no! Oh, I'm dead, aren't I? Ooh! The Rappies are all targeting me. Confused Trap did not help. Panic. Panic and pray. Okay, I'm out of there. See, that's a scary situation to be in. The reason why is the Rappies can push you into the set damage. And set damage can be kind of weird in multiplayer where it doesn't give you iframes. But depending on how they move me, I could get double stacked on and die instantly. Because I'll be taking at least 1600 in set. And then like another, I don't know, like 20 from the Rappy if it's debuff. Well, I did get a present. Nice. We'll have to check that out in a minute. Anyway, back to stun locking the Garage detonators, aka my favorite thing to do when you're a force. They try so hard. Unfortunately, the Gerda-Bulu has broken the stun lock. What a jerk, Chad. He does not appreciate the stun lock moves. I think what I might do... I guess as long as I don't use another Tri-Fluid here, I guess I'll keep going. There's a healing circle right after this enemy, I believe. This is the room I'm thinking of. And that means I could just recover my TP for free. You know what? I don't feel like trying him anymore. Just get grants. Goodbye. On a grinder. Let's go see what's in the present. Paint that is blue. So that, chat, we like to call a troll gift. It is actually worse than being absolutely useless. I know, it's one of the worst items it could possibly give me. It's actually impressive how terrible that is. Chris, do you want any trimates or anything while we're here? So for those that are not aware, it can only be used on one item in the entire game, and that's Red Ring. It's Ephinea specific, and the worst thing is if you color it, you take 1 or 2 die, sure. If you color the Red Ring to be something other than Red Ring, they denote that it loses the HP TP regen properties, so it literally makes your best item worse. It's actually atrocious. But some people only really care about aesthetics. I'm not one of those people. Ooh, Tri-Fluid, thank you. Wait, this isn't the final room. Well, I mean, this is fine. We can keep going. This is the room I normally die to, but I think we'll just Photon Blast the next room. We'll just keep going. But this is a really good point to go backwards. It's like really easy to walk back to this point. Ooh, that gun putting in the work. I'm gonna walk roughly into the center of the room. Hopefully debuff everybody here. And what I want to do to conserve some TP is I'll just melee. Actually, speaking of which, I'm gonna wait for Chris to kind of walk away from the enemy. That way we can Mag Blast. There we go. Oh, he's actually trolling. Chris actually trolling. Yeah, misclick. Unfortunate. So if you both choose the same mag power, for some reason it doesn't give you double the effect, which would make sense. It only uses it once. So we got no benefit from it. It's a big wah-wah in the chat. Direct. Okay, I'm gonna use Rabarda here to stun lock. Yeah, I want to say we probably have about... maybe a little under 30 minutes left in the quest. It really just depends on how cooperative the enemies feel like. It could be like only 30 minutes to clear, maybe less. Like technically it could go sub-hour with this team, technically. Unlikely to happen. Tri-Fluid drop, nice. Here's an advantage of spamming Gafoi. I basically half health all the incoming enemies, even if it takes a while for it to hit them. I'm gonna weaken them very drastically. So you could see, like, if you had 2 forces here, man, this room would just be cleared instantly. No counterplay, they just die. Also, getting hit while you have Gafoi out is the worst feeling. I believe I have a 5 zoo freeze. As long as I keep rebarding here, they're all stun locked. So that's a pretty good room shutdown the forces can do here. I'm gonna switch over to Gafoe for the next wave. Generally speaking, rule of thumb, if it's very annoying to kill them with Gafoe, more often than not, if the next wave requires Gafoe. Speaking of which... Okay, got to weaken the Marissa up a bit. Another power material, I'll pick that up soon. Got an extra die mate for Chris, nice. The primates as well. So I mostly just need to make sure I get to the final room with at least 2 tri-fluids. I could get away with just 1 tri-fluid if my aim is good, the sniper. But safety, I always like to end with 2. So I have 3 tri-fluids, basically 1 a room at this point. I think I'll be okay. Even if Chris doesn't find any other fluids, I think I'll be fine. So I'm basically going to end up using 1 more here, potentially. Ooh, being out of Soul Atomizer definitely sucks, as I could end up getting stun locked by the Gurdururu. Decent point. We gotta wait it out. Soul Atomizer is the only thing that really removes shock. Unfortunate that I ran out. Oh, there's one right there, but I'm out of item space. What a nasty room. I'm actually gonna use one of the tri-mates I picked up so I can instant heal. I think literally frame 1 heal, because items I think only take a frame. And if you buffer the item as you rise, it uses it the first possible frame of action. So we're doing that to get out of any potential healing moves, as I like to call them. And our Gafoe here is gonna help Chris a lot. That way he doesn't have to worry about anything. I think this might be the final wave for this room. Got shocked again. Girl, use the Star Atomizer so I can pick up the Soul Atomizer. Why am I still out of room? Did I pick up stuff I didn't want? I mean, other than obviously the blue paint. Huh, not really. Anyway, I guess I'll drop the primate. There we go. Nice and simple. So I could take this opportunity to kill Chris. I know I'm gonna get my TP back. Straight to the next room with 4 tri-fluid. Oh no, 5. Never mind, we're good. Pretty much the perfect number, honestly. If I happen to get more fluid, it's nice, but not too bad. Still have a regular die fluid as well. Another Star Atomizer, maybe. I really don't need Mono Grinders. I have one of those. Pretty common item used to kind of give your weapons +1. But I pretty much maxed everything I care about, so we're good. Actually going to buff Chris by remaining in the healing circle. If he wants his traps back, he could do that. Let's drop in more fluids, nice. We're in the final area. Gotta get through 3 rooms. We're almost done, chat. But I believe it'll be Goron into Marissa, if I remember correctly. So I think what I want to be doing is holding Magical Piece. That way the Fireball does more burst damage on the next wave. I think that's the right play. I always think it's a Pyro Goron here, and I have to tell myself it's just Marissa. We got rare Marissa, really? Oh. Feel disappointed. Of all the rare enemies, chat, to get, Marissa AA is the least interesting for me. I mean, I guess yay, a rare enemy, but also boo, Marissa. Yeah, of course that's the rare we get. We can't get rare Rappy or Funaclair, just Marissa. What an annoying enemy. He doesn't really take a lot of fire damage, only lightning. And lightning is not easy to land on that target. Ooh, that was dumb. I shouldn't have done that. But oh well, didn't get punished that hard. Nice. I'm gonna equip my weapon for those faster paths. Didn't even drop anything. You're right, he didn't drop anything for me either. I wonder what he normally drops for green ID. It's probably something I don't care about, and that's why I don't remember what it is. Because some characters get something called, like, the Ephinea C's, I believe is the name of the handgun. I don't remember if green ID is one of them. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It could be like a machine gun with fire or something. Rage Diffuse or whatever. I think it's an Ophiel C's. I mean, that makes sense. It's like a 50-50 drop, I think. Yeah, that's one of those guns that requires another gun to become a super gun. And not worth it. Other than to show off, that's it. That's the only real thing. I would never use it for any serious runs, ever. So, not worth my time. The other guns are much easier to get. Like, to give you an example, I think one of the drop rates for Heaven Punisher is 1 in 18,000. It's not a reasonable drop, chat. To just go and go, you're like, you know what? I want that, but it needs to also roll good stats. Like, no. I'm gonna go, listen, I'll go for the 1 in 300s. Because if you kill like 50 to 60 a run, those odds actually aren't terrible. The odds are you'll probably get it within like 2 hours. But those other ones, we'll do them more as a joke. But we're not doing it to actually seriously grind it out. Sort of like when we do Psycho 1 runs. We just do it once every event and go, oh well, we tried. That's it. Like, it's okay. I don't need Psycho 1 at this point. I have so many good alternatives. No way. Heaven Striker. Hey, we showed up on the top. Nice. Rock's too good. We made the server, chat. Got the Heaven Striker. It didn't roll with any hit, but I'll take it. Nice. Hey, getting actually good rares on stream? What's happening? I mean, it could have rolled better, but... I mean, at least it's not all zeros. I'll give it that. It's not all zeros. Alright, goodbye, Die Grinders. I don't need you. I think I gave away my Heaven Striker to Chris. I would say this gun is probably the best handgun in the game. I'm struggling to think if there's one that would even compete with it, honestly speaking. So the reason why this handgun is absolutely absurd is that for a handgun, I believe it has over 500 ATP, which is extremely, extremely rare. On top of that, it has one of the best specials in the game. Not the best one, it's Berserk, so you lose health whenever you do it. You do double damage. However, if you put that on a Ramar or a Ramarl, you kill everything in the game. So it basically is a nice and simple boss kill weapon for males. I think females have better guns, honestly. Like Last Swan in particular. But for males, probably their ultimate item. I struggle to think of something that does that much damage. I would even value it over like a charge sniper, honestly. This handgun has slightly better attack speed than a sniper. The downside is it has less range, which makes sense. It is what it is. I really don't need the Star Atomizer, Chris. I'm just gonna leave it in the corner over here. Die mates, don't need more of those. Take die fluid though. Regular mono fluid, sure, we'll pick up some of those. Nice. Trap vision, gross. I actually ended up with a lot of TP. Nice. Okay, I'm headed to the next area. So we have one more room after this, and I have more than enough tri-fluid to end this. If I really need to, I can let Chris handle some waves, but it should be okay for a little bit. debuff the enemy so I can actually do some decent damage, save myself some TP. 600 damage on a swing is honestly not bad. I don't know why I didn't debuff there. Wow, I take 600 damage if I don't debuff the Rappy. That's insane. Actually, funny enough, I think Rappy is the most damaging character in the game. I'm trying to think, is there something that has more ATP than Rappy? 3007 ATP? The only thing that might even compete with it is maybe Dibble. Honestly, completely insane for a non-boss enemy. Damage is out of control. Actually, maybe Goron Detonator is also about the same. But still, absolutely ridiculous for the numbers that they can come in. I think Chris and I enjoyed leveling our characters to 80 for the first time. We got to experience what we call Rappy damage. It's like regular Gorons or Buddha do like, oh, we'll take in 400. Rappy's like, I crit you for 1k, perish. And we're like, oh. Oh. Thanks, Rappy. Yeah, Rappy too strong. Most definitely. Yeah, these Pyro Gorons have 500 less attack power. Completely insane. I don't get it. The Pyro Gorons you only find underground and are meant to be harder, but they're still inferior to Rappy. Zoo technically has more ATP, but it never uses it, so it's irrelevant. Putting it a little close on fluids, actually. Unfortunate. Might have to escape Doll Suicide at some point. Just to get that Tri-Fluid. Oh, Chris gave me an emergency Tri-Fluid, thank you. Just finding a Photon Drop, nice. Yeah, I was trying to check the auctions for you, Chris, by the way. And I did see somebody was selling a Cannon Rouge, but I think it had 0 stats. I was actually gonna pick it up. I was for a long time wanting to see what that item did, but I guess we'll just keep playing until we find it eventually. Maybe one day, chat, we will get Dorphon Eclair. There are actually so many enemies here, I can't debuff them properly. Let me get some fireballs out of here. Right, now I should be able to debuff them technically. It's always kind of funny when you get into rooms where you hit a spell limit you never knew about. The flood of enemies is real. I guess they're at the far end of the room. Okay, we go summon them. Picked up some last minute dye fluid, not bad. Has me stocked for the final waves in this room at least. That is so sad that they can't even hurt me. That is so sad, chat. Maybe a rip in the chat for Goron damage. When they can't even damage a force, that is really sad. I'm gonna be like, come on, I'm supposed to be weak. Definitely a giant F for them, chat. Rappy, on the other hand, still hurts me. Rappy doesn't play around. Rappy will absolutely kill me if I don't pay attention. Nice. Ooh, I missed one of them with the debuff. Which one did I miss? I don't know. There we go. Nice, I got the freeze off. And I think I stun locked the zoo. The Bowie level 28, not a bad level. Ideally, at this point in the game, I'm only looking for 30s. I would have to go to very specific areas if I really wanted to. But again, it's just one of those things where it's just not worth the grind. I think it's almost as rare as getting a Psycho Wand. I tried doing the math one day. It was very bad. I'll put it that way. It was atrocious. I'm pretty sure it was on par with the one in 1800. just because you have like a 0.0001% chance of getting the spell in the first place, and then on top of that, there's an even smaller chance that it is a spell to begin with. So if you factor those two rarities together, it's absolutely atrocious. And then on top of that, you have to factor in the that enemy drop rate is not 100%. In fact, some of these enemies in the underground have a drop rate as low as 20%. So only 20% of the time I'll end up with an item. So all that together, and you have a absolutely garbage drop rate for level 30 spells. And that's another thing, I just don't bother. Like, I could technically do it, but why? No purpose. I do at least have Mag Blast, though. Well, that is true. You did get a level 30 grants. I forgot that you picked that up a while ago. I think that was last year. Well, obviously last year, but I mean, like, a long time ago last year. Like, February of last year. Oh, it was closer to Easter? Okay. Oh, it's close-ish. Nice. Final wave in the room. We just have one more room left, chat. Just gonna grant the bejesus out of the Gerda-Bulu. I'm entering the room with 3. Given how much I play Force, you might give it to me. I was gonna say, don't give away your treasure. You earned it. It's fine. I don't need grants level 30. I was gonna say, I'm the one that's supposed to be giving stuff to you, not the other way around. Some dimates. Entering this room with 3 Trifluid and like half TP. I'll probably make this work. It's gotta be selective, I suppose. Oh, I forgot how terrible this room was. I made a big mistake. Didn't get punished that hard, though. Could have been much worse. Could have been so much worse. I think the next time we're at a wave where it doesn't have a zoo, might be the next one. I think we'll try to Photon Mag Blast and skip the wave. By the time Chris kills the zoo, we'll probably hear that. Yeah, I'm gonna use that on this wave for sure. Nice. And him killing a wave means that's a whole lot less TP I have to use. So that's another good way to save on TP. Ooh, that was even kind of weird. Unfortunate. Well, time to bust out the belt. And again, at least we do decent damage. The meleeing is not the worst thing in the world if I do have to use it. I just prefer to keep at least one Trifluid for the end. Should have gone with the Angel, Phila, maybe. It was questionable. They were kind of grouped in a strange way. I'm not sure if they were close enough to get all of them. I feel that was like a 50-50 choice. We're just gonna conserve our minuscule TP. Love the little blink sounds that the Rampies make. Very insulting when you lose to the blink. Never want to lose to the blink, chat. Okay, we're coming up on probably the final 6 waves of this room, and also the quest. I'm gonna use a little chain lightning here to dissuade them. Oh, I got hit right as I was trying to cast. That sucked. So close. I think freeze is the right call here. For that exact purpose, I froze the Goron Detonator. One less threat. Put out a couple Gafoes, see what happens. Oh, Marissa's. Lovely. Anyway, with the Zalor debuffing their defense, they should dodge pretty quickly. Oh hey, Trifluid, nice. Well, I think we're good then. In fact, we're so good, I'm gonna Grand Skill this guy. Yeah, if I time the grants extremely well, based off of what he's doing, he'll never hit me. In single player, you can take advantage of that to stun lock them. So the root, or excuse me, not the root, the wave I'm looking for to let me know that I am 3 waves from the end is when we get surrounded by Goron detonators. When that happens, I'm going to take my super secret stealth position that totally doesn't cheese the quest, so I don't know what you're talking about. And then we'll win. They're looking for like probably like an hour and 5 minutes on the clear. I get this right. The next one is Goron detonator. That's about the pace. What is it? It's prancing the box over the zoo? What? First time I've ever seen that happen. We're getting very close to it, for sure. Also, I just realized that wasn't gelling. A little scary. It's okay. Crystal snipe them as I take it in the face. All part of the plan, chat. Aha! Final 3 waves. Okay, so I'm gonna escape. Take that mono fluid as I run as well. I will let you know that if you don't do this normally, and you were to foolishly stand in the center of the room, the wave after the Goron detonator, you will probably die instantly, and there is almost no way to recover. It's very hard to deal with 4 Girdabulu, especially since they do a lot of elemental damage. Even with the Force with 3 seals, which grants I think 33 to all major resistances, and Ignition Cloak, which I think would put your fire resistance at 56, for example, you will still die almost instantly to them every time. It's completely insane and unfair. Okay, I got a nice freeze loop going. Gives Chris some time to shoot the problems. Not bad Marissa damage, given that they don't take a lot of ice damage. Oh, I am getting low-ish on TP, but that's okay. Talked about this before. Worst thing that happens is I have to snipe better. Here's an example. Oh, escape bell drop, nice. Here's an example of what you can do to speed this quest up. You can just double grants the Rappy to make it run and take the item. Chris is pulling the final enemies there. He might want to not be there, as the next wave is the quadruple Girdabulu. I don't think he wants anything to do with that. Okay, he's coming back. Sanity has returned to him. So this wave is absolutely trash garbage. This by itself I think ruins the wave for me a little bit. Let's go ahead and get some sniper luck here. Let's see what happens. It did happen. Nice. That's gonna save me a lot of TP. Now I can just grant him to death. Nice. That's not bad. Now if Chris really wants to, in theory he could go out and fight it. I don't super recommend it unless he has to. Let's take a little bit of time here. Ooh, I actually got the almost instant kill on the one on the left. So we're just gonna whittle them down. I think at this point Chris could probably handle it. We're down to just 10 grants to kill. It's not the worst thing. I'm gonna use the Tri-Fluid, not because I need the TP, because I want to free up the item spawn. Doesn't have to if he doesn't want to, but greed. Exactly, chat. Yeah, we cleared it decently fast. I mean, this quest usually takes about an hour, so pretty good. Dep and greed. I'm willing to take it slow, but it's fine. That did speed it up significantly. Yeah, we could lose like upwards of like 30 seconds of Girdabulu if we don't have a good strategy for them. If somebody else found a Heaven Punisher. They fought the... Ew, they killed a Miracle for... Ew, they're playing episode 2? Ew. Ew. Gross. Oh, do not want. Yeah, do not want. Oh no, chat. We've seen what happens in episode 2. There's just no. Just say no to episode 2, chat. We're done with the quest. And actually ended up getting a lot of XP today on this character. Despite him, I think at level 184 he needed 1.15 million experience, if I remember correctly. Between the last couple of quests, I think I went from 800,000 to 517,000. So pretty good, given the fact that, let me put these away. Given that it's not an XP up event at the moment. I really don't want Bouquet. There's nothing I could get rid of. Yeah, see all these spells, chat? These could be yours. I'm not kidding around with it. I really want these spells out of my inventory. I'm gonna have to donate these at some point off stream. Unless I really want to make another force later. Think about it. But I don't need that many duplicates if I am. I'll put the blue paint away in here, I guess. I'm actually out of inventory space in the character bank as well. That's brutal. Really? Huh. Some of these I forgot I had in here. That's unfortunate. Oh wow, actually some really good stuff in there. Wow, I have a 29 Robarda in there. That's actually crazy. I guess I don't need the 15 Bowie then. We'll just junk it. Let's quickly restock on all of our major necessities. We don't have to think about it for next time. You're now at 97 coal. Well, that's 2 presents for you. Also, I went in there and I didn't identify the Heaven Striker. Foolish me. And no, episode 2. Just exactly. I think the Heaven Striker also has enhanced range for a pistol. This gun is just broken. Like, I don't even know what to tell you, chat. Completely OP. I don't know what they were thinking. So let's unequip ourselves, which we did. Look at how much ATP this gives with shifted D-band. So with the 41 shifted D-band, it adds almost 800. Comparatively, my sniper only gives 2,000. My partisan only gives 2,017. So this weapon's on its own tier of damage, chat. Handgun based on secret military blueprints. Ridiculous. Absolutely broken. Unfortunately, only rangers can use it. But on the flip side, godlike. So I'll take that. Now I need to make some room. I need to potentially get rid of some of these items. And I think it'll be it for the quest. Is there something in here? Oh, I have a V101 in here. Maybe I should just bite the bullet and do it? Oh, thank you, Cassius X, for following. I didn't hear the follow alert. Has me concerned. But I do appreciate it. So many spells, chat. Well, I'm gonna put away some of these duplicates. I don't need this many in here. So many high-level spells, chat. I don't even know what to do. In fact, I can't even put them away in this character bank either. Brutal. Okay, what do I really not need anymore? Do you have any, like, 21s? You get 21? Yeah, let's just take that out. Definitely the sad face. Don't need that many gel in 28s. Yeah, I have a 29 in there. I really don't need that much. We'll put the Kapoe 29 and the Bowie and the Kazan. Well, I'm not able to. Dang, chat, so close. I need to get rid of some of my junk. Oh, these are force slaughters. I never want to get rid of force slaughters. Dang, chat. What I get for not donating more to other people. Sophie's choice of what do I get rid of. I have to think about this. really don't need two Guardianas, to be honest. We have an Asteron belt with no bonuses. Oh, that's a pretty prime candidate for removal, I must say. If I did this right, I can finally put away this gun and use it later. Yes, I did. Nice. So everything else we have here. Hopefully you're doing well, Cassius. We're just having a little bit of fun with the Christmas event before we wrap up. Indeed, it is the Ephinea server. Yeah, I am completely overburdened with techniques and materials. So definitely to any new players, just message me. I have way too much stuff. You may see me around. Nice. I usually tend to only play during special events, but sometimes I'll play during like lunch hour, EST from home. I think the only thing I would not really want to do in general would probably be challenge mode and episode 2. Everything else though, fair game. But we want to do TTFs, we want to do anything else, I'll be like, sure. That's it for me. I mean, just casual red ringing it up, it's fine. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Yeah, if you see random letters, for the most part, like as it's probably me making a game if I'm playing single player. Otherwise, if you see anything with rocks in it, it's probably also me with Chris here. Let's go get our coal, I guess. Too much mashing. Too much turbo. Speaking of which, how much coal did I actually end up on by the end of the event? I mean, we consumed 80 on stream, so I'm curious. We get up to like 24 again, I would guess. 22. Dang, I was really close. Intuition was right. Also, I really need to get rid of these bronze and silver badges. Really need to get rid of them. I guess if people want materials later, just let me know. I only want like a few ad slots from these bronze badges, I think. Yeah, this is fine. A wall of items. Actually, how much am I up to in materials? Just so the chat is aware. Okay, so I got rid of, I think, every power material, so back up to 22 in the share bank. Mine materials back up to 72. That's 62 luck. Wow, could literally just cap like 2 characters right now. Ridiculous. But anyway, if Chad is making a new character, just let me know. Enjoy it, Chad. I think that's it for me when it comes to PSO. Take my money and run. Yeah, let's talk a little bit here. Chat saying, oh, that stuttered. Maybe the game a little bit there when I was fast quitting. It does get a little weird sometimes. But I think we are going to wrap up the PSO segment. Hope you enjoyed playing PSO along with me, Chris. But I think we're going to switch on to our next game. But for sure, if people want to suggest that we do this on Thursdays as kind of like the group activity, I'm not opposed to it. I have characters at 150 plus, or basically everything, honestly speaking. So if there's a character you want me to play as, just let me know. I think the only exception to that rule is the Humar. But I have multiples at like 190 plus. I haven't decided if I ever want them to hit level 200, to be honest with you. Not entirely sure. Actually, wow, I'm surprised quite a bit of people have joined me. Hello, hello. Somebody I haven't seen in a while. Hello, the Chunky Tomato. Which, to make things more confusing, I will have to differentiate Chris by saying Wedding Chris. So that way chat knows who I'm talking about. Yeah, Omniplay. Or Humor, so unloved. Exactly, chat. Who knows? I feel like by the time we get to Friday, it will be too late to stream it again. So this will probably be the last of the Christmas event that we'll see. But hope you had fun. But I think for now, chat, we can all wave goodbye to YouTube as I go to set up our next game. So, again, thank you for joining for PSO, and we'll be switching into Hades.